Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Beckstrom, and today we're going to take a look at Example 9 from Section 8A. This is on linear and exponential growth. So here it says the table shows the number of monthly active users of a social media website, the number of people who use the website at least once a month over a 3-year period. Complete parts A through C. All right, so it looks like in March of 2009, we had 181 users. And then in March of 2010, a year later, we had 429 users. A year later, 674. And a year after that, 924. So the first thing we want to take a look at is the absolute change from year to year. That's just what is the increase or decrease each year. And this is going to help us tell if this is going to be a linear equation, that means like one that makes a straight line, or if it's going to be an exponential equation, that's more of a curve that kind of goes down towards an asymptote. All right, so let's go ahead and pull the calculator out for this one. And for each one of these, we're just looking at the difference between the year before and whether it's positive or negative. So from the first year to the second year, it went up. That means the answer should be positive. And to find how much it went up, we can just use simple subtraction. So I can just say 429 minus 181, and the answer is 248. So in this box here, in March of 2010, it increased by 248 users. We're going to do the same thing for the other ones as well. So for the next year, it went from 429 to 674. So I can just do 674 minus 429, and then for the last year, so that's 245, and for the last year, we just do 924 minus 674, and that will be 250. So we can see that the increase was pretty constant. It stayed around the same amount, and that's going to point towards a linear progression here, and we're going to answer that later. But let's go ahead and kind of put these values in. So let's see, I'm going to write it right underneath here. So this is 248. This one is 245. And this one is 250. All right, so the next question here is asking for the percent change over the previous year. The percent change over the previous year. So the previous year, that's going to be on the bottom of our quotient. And the percent that it increased or decreased is going to be on the top. And that'll give us the percent change. So for example, for this first one, we want to see what percentage of 181 was added, so we got the 429. So the way we do that is we take the absolute change and divide it by the total here of or the original value. All right, so for the first one, we're just going to have 248 divided by 181. And if we round that to the nearest tenth and we convert that to a percentage, converting it to a percentage moves it 2 places to the right. So we're looking at 137.0% from the first year to the second year. And that makes sense, right? Because 100% is 181, and it went over 181 people. So this 248 is making sense with this percentage here. All right, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the other ones. So to go from March 2010 to March 2011, we're going to take that absolute change, which is 245, and divide it by the previous total there, divided by the 429, and we're going to get as a percentage 57.1, and then let's do the same thing with the last one. So we have 250 divided by the previous total, which is 674. and that's going to give us a 37.1 percentage. So I'm going to go ahead and write these out here. So we have this is going to be a 137.0%. The next one for this one right here is going to be a 57.1%, 57.1%. And the last one here is going to be a 37 point. I'm sorry, that should be a 57. Yeah, 57.1. And the last one will be a 37.1%. 37.1%. All right. And the last thing says, is the increase in website users linear or exponential? Justify your answer. So I want you to think about it. If we had a graph here, and we were to plot these points, so let's say we put the years on the bottom, so this would be 2009, this would be March 2010, March 2011, March 2012, and then on the y-axis here, we were going to put the totals. So maybe the first one here is 181, and then we increase by 248, and then we're going to increase by 245, which is about the same amount increased, and then finally we're going to increase by another 250. So this value up here is going to be like 924. This is basically going to make a pretty straight line right there, and so that tells us it's linear. So it's going to be one of these linear ones, and this first one says because the absolute change is roughly constant and the percent change varies significantly. That's definitely the right one. And then the last one says because the absolute change differs from year to year. Well, the absolute change is here and it stays relatively constant, so it is not C, it is B. All right, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have a great rest of your week. Thanks.